Hello everybody, Michael Blatherwick here from B3 Cricket and the Lockdwon Club. It's Friday the 26th of March 2021 and I'm joined by Eddie Burke and Andy Brown. Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thanks Blathers.
Great to see you, Blathers.
And you, Browny. The sun is shining again in Hina and the palm tree is looking great.
Well, what can you say? Cricket season's on the way. You know, I've been in the garden, done a little bit of gardening, had the handkerchief on my head so I don't get my napper burnt. So yeah, we're ready to go.
Superb. The reason I mentioned the date at the beginning of this is, you know, perhaps in the annals of time when somebody starts looking back on the history of this dreadful period of the pandemic, you know, people might look back and think, you know, the Lockdwon Club, what was that all about? Well, you know, I'll start with a thank you rather than at the end. Massive thanks to you guys for, you know, all the effort and thought you've put into doing this and helping, you know, club cricketers, junior cricketers all over the UK.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure, no problem at all.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, Blathers, isn't it? It's a cricket family, you know, and we're here to help everybody, you know, and it's whether it's juniors, seniors, whoever's, you know, followed the Lockdwon Club or even just dropped in and seen some of the chats, you know, absolutely brilliant. And hopefully that'll help lead to them really starting off and being ahead of everybody else going into the summer after following the Lockdwon Club.
Yeah, no, great. And a couple of significant dates coming up for cricket. Obviously, on Monday, the 29th of March, we can start and resume training outside. What's your understanding, Andy, of the ECB's rulings about what we can do and can't do? Pretty much good to go?
Yeah, we're pretty much good to go. It's just the little details that we're still awaiting. From Monday, we can do coaching outside, we can do training outside, groups of 30. But it's just those little, you know, can we use adjacent nets? How many per net? If there's going to be any restrictions with that, you know. So it's just those little bits which every club did it last year. So it won't be a, you know, to be dropped on us at a last minute train smash. But the more time we've got, the better it is for us. So, you know, it'd be great to hear from the ECB at some stage in the next 24 hours so we can start planning. Yeah,
absolutely. And it is that finer detail which people will need because it will, you know, again, it'll have a real constraint on group sizes, what people can and can't do. So that detail could do with coming out pretty quickly, really.
And from April the 12th, we should be able to go indoors. Hopefully we'll be outdoors. Last year, of course, when the pandemic started, the weather was absolutely glorious for April and May. But, you know, who knows what you're going to get this time of year. It is the UK in April after all. So I suppose the point I'm trying to make in a rambling sort of way is that, you know, the drills and the stuff in the Lockdwon Club are still very relevant, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and they should be thought of as really a longer term. We put it together for that period of time, and especially those constraints which are around people at that time. But if you think about, you know, some of the principles which lie within, it's volume and frequency of training. That can be periodised through 12 months of the year, really. It can mix and match and fall in and out of structured programmes to help people.
Yeah, I suppose another thing, Brownie, is that especially for senior players, you know, if they've not been doing something, you know, that there are dangers about going out there too enthusiastically and potentially ruining your season before it's started.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to get going on the 29th and hit it 100 miles an hour. You know, those seniors and juniors that have been doing the Lockdwon Club are a massive advantage. You know, because youngsters that are coming to me for a one-to-one, if they've been doing the Lockdwon Club drills, it'd be similar to what I would have done through sort of, you know, September, October, November, December, building up. So those first few sessions, if they haven't done that, then we'll be addressing that maybe in a shortened version, but getting them youngsters ready and them seniors ready to start the summer with those basics instilled. The whole point and the process of what we've put together is to give them some structure to get into the summer 2021 a better cricketer than when they left in September.
Yep.
And to do that, you know, the program is, for me, is perfect for all age groups. The key thing is now, if you haven't done that, be very careful come that first training session, ease into it, build your workloads up and go from there.
Throwing and catching were always the big ones for me. You've got to ease your shoulder back in. And again, catching a cricket ball in 5 degrees in April, you got to get your hands used to catching a ball again as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So ways that coaches can oversee that and help their players. Think about progression. Think about starting small, then getting bigger. So thinking about distance, using shorter distances, then build the distance up for throwing. Think about shorter numbers of throws. So maybe just 10 today, 20 tomorrow, 30, etc. Getting progressively bigger. And then with the catching, get a load of volume in with softer balls. And then use an incredible, a halfway ball before you go straight into lots of impact with a cricket ball. There are certain products that you can use if you wish. If someone wants to rock up with some gloves on or whatever, let them do it. We should have a long-term approach to developing the talent within clubs and other environments.
But what about you, Browny? Old school, get your first team out there with the sleet and the snow and whack brand new cherries at them?
No, totally the opposite, mate. I've been around quite a few years, and obviously when I was playing, that was it. You hated every minute of it. Every ball hurt.
It was like the SAS, wasn't it?
Been bonkers. No, what we do at Ockbrook is very similar to what Eddie was talking about there. And even on a middle of July when it's a warm night and we're doing some fielding and we're doing some high catches, I never do long throws. I always have a staging point. It means you can get more fielders involved because you have somebody halfway. You're working at another skill, that throw over the top of the stumps. You know, so you're breaking it down. I mean, we'll only probably do 10, 15 throws at max in a session. That's it.
Okay.
You know, because that is critical. You know, you see these other groups that turn up and they're just whacking massive catches, throwing it 60 yards. End of April, they've all gone in the shoulder and got ice packs on.
So before we go and have a look at the videos that we've had sent in for the final show, a couple of things I want to mention. We've got the online coaching that we've set up. So all the coaches that are featured in the Lockdwon Club, including your good selves, are available online or in person. So if you want to book a session with Andy or Eddie, either outside or indoors at B3 after April the 12th, we can do that. But the online coaching is pretty useful, isn't it? Do you want to talk us through that, Eddie? The sort of experiences you've had with that?
Yeah, so quite a lot have come through the portal, really, which we use for people to upload their videos. Then we can do some analysis and provide feedback, which is multi-format, really. It can be written. We can articulate and draw on videos if we need to highlight points, and we can write some coaching elements down, which ultimately we highlight strengths as well as areas to develop, and that way you can set up a bit more of a relationship with the coach in order to keep that relationship really going forward. It can be used. I mean, think about how you can use it. People use coaching sessions for birthday presents, Christmas presents. There can be sort of one-offs or a little package of progressive work to try and improve in certain areas. So it's a really, really useful tool. We're going to do a user guides. We're going to do a video to help people work out how to film properly.
So we've got the online video coaching. It's a great way for people to look at a specific area of the game that they've got a problem with or would like to improve, and we can really narrow that down and focus. If you live close to Nottingham, then get in touch, and if you want to organise a one-to-one, happy to do that. We're also going to be doing more content, more masterclasses. The Lockdwon Club will now become what it was previously called, which was the B3 Coaching Hub. And that's what it is. It's an area where we will continue to develop resources, content, to help club cricketers, junior cricketers, in all aspects of the game. One of the things we're looking to do, Andy, is get a couple of fast bowlers, pace bowlers, and show them how to build up to the season and get the run up right again.
Yeah, it's critical. You know, it's critical. Bowling is rhythm. It's a rhythm thing. Same with batting to a certain degree, but gradually building that pace up. I know, you know, it's an anecdote that I remember about Alan Donald working with Bob Woolmer, and Bob Woolmer with the stopwatch back in the day. You know, he didn't have any of these GPS and things like this, and he'd time from when his foot hit his mark to his back foot contact down to the split second, and he knew if it took that amount of time, he'd be spot on to let that ball go at 90 mile an hour. If he was too quick, too slow, he was off it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. You know, is those little bits of detail, and bowling in particular. You'll be charging in come Tuesday. No, he's back. Gradually build that pace up so you're at the crease ready to unfurl and let that missile go.
Okay, so keep
to add to that as well, Brownie, as well, is we all know a lot of the people that will be watching this or coaches will be working with, the bowlers may have grown. They may have grown 1 inch, 2 inch, 3, 4, 5 inch since the last time they were coming in. So people going through growth spurts or peak height velocity, etc. There's lots of moving parts when you work with people. And that's what's fascinating about coaching and helps. But Brown is absolutely right. The attention to detail is really what good coaching is all about. Okay,
super. We're going to go and have a look at some of the videos that have been sent in the last couple of weeks. So this has been sent in by Samir, his son, playing some sweeps.
Right, so I mean the thing is there, it looks like he's got plenty of space. The feed looks good for a start. It seems to be arriving at the right height in about some of the right areas for him to try different sweeps. And the whole principle about these shots is having a go, isn't it? There's a lot of self-discovery going on here. If people have looked at the videos which we've put out, we've mentioned a few of the technical points, 3 points of contact, trying to get your front foot, your back knee and your back foot down, and getting those arms extended through the ball. And with the sweep, it can either be predetermined or you're looking at the pace the ball arrives at and the line the ball arrives at as well. So
I know this video quality isn't necessarily coming through that well over the video, Eddie, but can you see that picture there with the 3 points of contact?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And they're the elements that this young man's looking to practice, really. The way you can progress it is maybe put a little goal down, try and hit the ball through different goals, move your goal around. So you're looking in front of square, level with square, behind square. He might want to put one down at 45 degrees, so he's playing more behind the wicket. You can have a lot of fun with that, manipulating the ball into different areas.
Okay, no, brilliant. Well, I'll go on to the Facebook group and we'll have a look at what's been sent in there.
So this has got to be one of the best looking practice facilities I've ever seen anywhere. He's clearly hitting the ball into a good area because I can't hear or see too many breakages going off around the house. So he's obviously got very trusting parents and a good enough technique to get the ball into an area where it's not going to smash anything, Brownie.
Well, obviously he's fooled you with his Zoom background there, Eddie. Really is outside, mate. That's a garage back, that it is, mate. But no, I mean, absolutely brilliant. He's getting the full range of shots in there, isn't he? And, you know, the one thing and the one message that we've talked about a lot through the Lockdown Club is balance. You know, and the couple of things would be, say, well, does he get enough time between balls to establish a strong balanced position to move from again? And then at contact, are we as balanced as we could be? And if there's any movement afterwards, can we limit that to make sure that energy goes through the ball?
Yeah, no, brilliant work though. Really looks like he's got shots all around the wicket. Fortunately, not through extra cover on this occasion. Okay, so this is an interesting post on the Facebook group. Is there any coaching session on power hitting, since this is the most entertaining part of batting and changes any situation from winning to losing? I'll start on that if I may, because I'm more of a purist. T20 isn't really my thing. I'd rather watch a test match. I'd rather watch an ODI. But watching the T20 recently with England versus India, it was interesting to see David Malan batting, and he just showed that, and Virat Kohli to a large extent, that you can play proper cricket shots, you can time the ball, you can pick your areas. Power hitting is not what it's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, power hitting, again, it's a process. You know, the whole Lockdown Club is about building up, ready for the season, you know, getting ready for that first game. And there'll be no T20s on the 17th of April, as far as I'm aware. You know, so power hitting will come in at some stage and you can practice that, but it's a part of a process. You've got to have the basics instilled first. And
are you also saying there, Brownie, that you've got to have those fundamentals, you've got to have the foundation before you can apply that? I mean, I did a session, 3 or 4 sessions with Julian Wood during the winter, and he was brilliant. And he actually, you know, he's known as the power hitting guru, but actually, he said exactly that. He's got a place in the game. You know, you've still got to read the game according to the situation, the wicket, the game scenario, but you've got to have that foundation and solidity in your technique before you can do some of these things.
Well, the technique in the different formats of the game and being able to change technique is massive. You know, you can be a good 20-20 player, you can be a good longer form of the game player, but the techniques that you employ in both games, you know, in the longer form, foot movement, critical, getting close to the ball, critical, head over the ball, critical. When you're power hitting, when you're T20 hitting, a lot of the time you're creating a good base. You know, where the better bowlers bowl, you know where they're going to bowl because the fields are set, they're going to hit their areas. So you set your base accordingly and then trust your technique to hit boundaries. It's a different way of playing the game within the biggest sphere of cricket. And
Eddie, I mean, you know, you've got some thoughts on what we're trying to achieve here through the Lockdown Club. This is a bit like sort of the fast bowling scenario we were talking about.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's elements of this where people will have certain elements that they've definitely got or missing from their technique. And what we do during this format is we try and stay quite general and give people a little bit of help. When we really want to dive into some more potentially sensitive areas around bowlers and potentially flexibility, let's say, within arm angles or where people can or can't hit the ball at this moment in time, I think that's where the one-to-one coaching comes in nicely. We can get a little bit more of a personalised relationship going with people and start to actually get involved in some what we would call coaching. This is more of a general discussion format at the moment. With the power hitting, I think it's a great topic. I think really it's like what Browny's doing. You can contextualising it. My thoughts are at any stage the game can demand it. So if you need 50 off the last 3 overs, then there's going to be an element where the game is demanding that you need to hit the boundary. So the game's the teacher. It contextualises it for us. But it's like a little bit what Brown is saying. It's think about your practice in what you need when, but don't ignore it. You know, don't ignore it. It's got to be in there, but and likewise, don't let it dominate. It's all a balance, and I think that's about structure and helping people with some good coaching to help structure their practice. It's always getting a balance of what's needed to build on your strengths, your current strengths, and also maybe work on your areas to develop, as well as, for some people, just minimising some weaknesses so the opposition doesn't get to see it too much. You know, if you're not great against the short ball, well, you might not master it, but you might want to appear that you're okay with it. Ultimately, it's about balance. And if that's an area that you want to work on and it floats your boat, that's fine. And we will be going into some masterclass situations, Brownie, where we will home in on this as a skill. Because like what you say, Julian Wood's done some great work on this particular subject. And there's some really good, strong principles, which are definitely worth expanding on and sharing. Yep. But a lot of it comes down to so much of the stuff that we've covered before, with basic principles of batting.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. I think that brings us to an end, guys. We will be having more stuff coming out through the B3 Coaching Hub. Not quite sure how that's going to work yet. The three of us are discussing with the other coaches, but in general, there's a real appetite amongst the coaches and the people who have been involved from this side, and to keep sharing content, engaging with people, and enthusing people around the game that we all love. What we need from you guys is feedback. So again, thank you to the 1,000 or so people that have taken the Lockdwon Club survey. That lets us know who you are, where you are, what you're looking for. And also, we'll be able to send you stuff that's relevant to you rather than bombard you with stuff that's not really relevant. So fill that in. Keep an eye out on your email and on the Facebook group if you're on that. And we'll share what we're doing with you.
Yeah, I think the critical thing here, Blathers, we've had the Lockdwon Club and youngsters have sent videos in of them doing all the drills. What I'd like to see some of these youngsters send us in some footage of them in the season developing the cricket. Let's see them enjoying it. Let's see them out there on the, not send us 1,001, but let's see some of them being successful. That make me feel good about it. Eddie, but you feel great about it. It's not all about what can we do to change this? How can I get better? Well, let's see that progression. Let's see you out there having a bit of fun.
Yeah, no, perfect.
A lot of what we've done has been based at players and helping players and coaches. But I also think moving forward, we're going to do a real blend of sessions, either online or in person, where we're going to be looking at things we can do, not only for coaches and players, but for parents as well. So actually, if you're not a qualified coach or you're playing at whatever level of cricket, you will be able to attend some of the things that we're doing because it's relevant for your practice and your understanding. So what we're trying to do is offer some reassurance that we want to cater for all, really, and give you the information that's going to help your game or your understanding, either as a coach, player or a parent or a teacher, or just someone that's interested. We're going to be able to cater for you.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly put, Eddie. Thank you. We'll be running that parents or being a cricket parent workshop very soon. So keep an eye out on your email. We'll be sending invites and the details of that out. It's also been a very difficult time for people mentally. So hopefully we've helped sort of focus the mind on cricket and keep that enthusiasm going. I've thanked you two already. I've thanked Megan, my daughter, who's the videographer. Seriously, if anybody needs some business or a personal wedding video doing, give Megan a shout because she'd love to share with you other stuff that she does. The coaches, Suchi on the spin bowling, Jono on the batting, Steve Kirby on the pace bowling, Reedy on the wicket keeping, and our very own physiotherapist and S&C guy, Ben Trevor Jones from Derbyshire County Cricket Club. Thanks to them, and we're playing each other. My team are playing Andy's team on the 18th of April, so I'll see you then, Andy, if not before. If we can help you in any way, with regard to cricket development, coaching, just get in touch. Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.